Hi everybody! Today I'm giving you a tour of my new 2025 Cache camper. This camper was built in Alaska. It is built for Alaskan cold, negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And obviously I'm not in negative 40 degree Fahrenheit, so why purchase a camper that was built for the Arctic? This is my third rig. I was sold on the quality of build and the tried and true systems. So if it's good for the Arctic, it can keep us safe and comfortable in any weather. If you're new here, I'm Kim Ann. I've been living and traveling in campers for 5 years. This camper is a custom camper, but it was a demo model that I had them customize for me. So I did not build it from the ground up. This camper is 8 feet wide, which is wider than my old camper, and about 2,400 pounds. So it's about 700 pounds less than my old camper, which makes a huge difference in the ride. Let me give you a quick tour of the outside of this camper and the truck before we go inside. So on the outside, first, the windows. I love the windows. There's a rain awning on top of the windows, so unless it's coming down sideways, you can still have the window open when it's raining. Outside compartments, this one is huge. I fit a lot of stuff in here. There's all my camping stuff. There's 2 plastic bins, extra jackets, all my shoes. And the reason why I have shoes in here is because you can access this from the inside. So that is super convenient. And just the quality on this. This is like heavy duty. My last camper had these flimsy plastic doors on the outside compartments and it kept getting water and dirt in there. I haven't had that issue with this, and it also locks, which is really nice. There's a second compartment that you can put a generator in. It has a vent, so you can put something in there that needs to be vented. I have my backpacking stuff in here, all of my hoses and wires, and there's also a bin in here, if you can believe that. There's just a lot of stuff in there, which I appreciate because then I don't have to keep as much stuff in the back seat of my truck. I love this fixed ladder. I exercise off of this ladder. This is for a cassette toilet, which I had taken out. Gray tank drain. I love these steps. These steps are so much easier for the dogs to get in and out. On this side, we have a 20-pound propane tank, which actually lasts me a long time. I love the little gauge on here, so I know when I'm getting low. This is my 20,000 BTU propane Dinette furnace that keeps me pretty cozy. This is the on-demand hot water heater. These are all the hookups, the tank fill, city water, and 30-amp plug. We go Titan electric jacks, and I do take this off occasionally when I'm camping at a campsite. There's an awning, pretty easy to engage and disengage. Let me tell you about my truck. This is a 2018 Ford F-250 4x2. I did get stuck twice, so my next one's definitely gonna be a 4x4. I bought it in 2020 with 60,000 miles on it, and right now it's over 200,000 miles. One thing that's important is storage. So I took out the back seats. I store back there dog food, my rebounder, my solar panels. I have a screen tent, extra water. It's a really nice, comfy ride, and it's set up with the dog bed. It served me well. For over 200,000 miles, it's still running strong. I'm just gonna jump in here for a minute and talk about our awesome sponsor, Bluetti. I'm a huge fan of Bluetti, and I'm so excited about this product, the Charger 2 DC to DC charger. This is brand new, launching January 2026. I'm gonna do an unboxing. Lots of cables and looks like a fuse. Comes with a manual. Whoa, here it is. Many ports on the bottom. The original charger one topped off at 560 watts of power, but the Bluetti Charger 2 now has the potential to do 1200 watts of power because it draws 800 watts from your alternator, and it has a potential of drawing 600 watts from the solar port. That's 13 times faster than a standard cigarette lighter port. Here's another amazing feature. It has reverse charging. So if you leave your lights on in your truck or van, the Charger 2 can actually pull power from your power station to jumpstart your vehicle. I'm installing this to work with my Bluetti Elite 100 V2, which is my favorite power station. And I've been using that in my truck because all of my DC ports in my truck no longer work. And the fuses are all good. Don't know why, but I've just been using my Bluetti to charge my phone, power my backup camera. But the problem is I can't plug it into anything to charge it in the truck. So this is going to solve that issue. It has a smart power management system, so that means it knows exactly when to charge when the vehicle is on and when not to charge when the vehicle is off. So no dead batteries. I'm going to attempt to hook this up to my battery, plug it into my power station, and see how fast it is charging.
We're going to set up the Charger 2 in the truck. Unscrew the base, lift the cover.
Did it. This green light is on. I did something wrong. It's not charging. I'm still positive that the Charger 2 is an awesome piece of equipment. It's just my user error. So I'm gonna get some help. And in the next video, it's gonna be part 2 of this. And we're gonna get this thing rocking. I'm inside now where it's warm because it was freezing out there. My fingers are numb. I went through all that trouble and it didn't work. But I had an epiphany. Both chargers were not working. My Victron DC to DC charger stopped working several months ago, and I hooked up the Bluetti the same exact way that that charger was hooked up, and that was not working. And around the time I got a new battery is when the Victron stopped working. So it might just be the way it's hooked up. We'll see. I'm going to get someone to help me. Thank you for sticking around, and thank you to Bluetti for sponsoring this video. Now back to the tour. This is an 8-foot camper, not including the cab over, and it hangs off the back. That's really not a problem, but my next truck is definitely going to be a long bed. It would fit better on the long bed. So up here we have the Max Air Fan, 760 watts of solar, my DC air conditioner. This is the skylight and the exhaust fan for the bathroom. Let's go in, I'll show you my comfy home. Come on. Okay. Come on, Lilo. When you first walk in, you can tell how spacious it feels. This is 8 foot wide, and Cache Campers has maximized the spacious feeling because they don't have any floor to ceiling cabinets in this whole living area. One thing I noticed immediately the first time I came into this camper was how quiet it is. It is really well insulated because it's for the Alaska cold. It really made a huge difference, the insulation. I got her. I got her. This is my kitchen, which I love. There is so much counter space in here. My last camper had a little bit of counter space, and I kind of made it work by juggling things back and forth onto the table. But this, to me, in a camper is luxury. I put up this magnetic knife bar and this bar that I got at IKEA to hang things on. And it makes such a difference when you're living in a small space to have everything just accessible and ready. This is a 2-burner Dinette stove. It's the upgraded version because it has this wrought iron on it, and that's been working out great. I bought this cutting board from somebody on Etsy, and it fits perfectly in my sink. I have a water filter. I just turn this knob and I get filtered water. And I opted for that because there's not a lot of space under the sink. Now the sink isn't huge. It's the same sink that I had in my last camper, but it works. It was going to take too much space to change it out. So you can see, maybe you could have went slightly bigger, but I opted not to and just leave it as is. This is a pretty big area to keep things and tools and cleaners and that type of thing. Over here, I have a drawer that I have little miscellaneous things. This plug is worked by the inverter, and the inverter you just turn on here, and that works the plug when I'm off grid. This is the controls for the jacks and the lights for outside and inside. This is the heater. Fire extinguisher, very important. I have those 2 areas for my shoes, and I love that it's kind of tucked away and it doesn't get in the way when I come in and out of the door. So my last camper, I had stick-on tiles in the kitchen, and there's this wallpaper in the kitchen that I didn't want to cover the whole thing up. So I just kind of accented with stick-on tiles. So there's some above the door, and there's a strip that runs in the dinette. I just love that color, and it makes me feel like it's my home, because it is. Another thing I like is the windows and the shades. The window is bolted in there. It's not going anywhere. And the shade is just on with Velcro. So pretty easy to put down, put back up. There are blackout shades throughout the whole camper. In my last rig, I had issues with the shades. That didn't work very well. My string came out. Damn. What happened to that other shade? I ended up having to replace them, and issues with one window falling out. That's what led me to Cash Campers and seeing this beautiful camper. These shades are also super easy to take care of, because if they get dirty, you just take them off. They're just on there with Velcro. This is my refrigerator. It's a Dometic, and it works great. I love that my freezer actually stays cold and everything stays frozen. My ice cream doesn't get soupy. I do have a full-size bathroom in here. It's a wet bath. I'm still getting used to the on-demand hot water heater because I only have 20 gallons of water, and I usually travel with an extra 10. In order to get the hot water heater to start, you have to run the water cold, and I don't like wasting water. So if anybody has a fix for that, if you could let me know. I guess I can get a bucket. Usually what I do is I'll put the water on and start taking a cold shower until it gets warm. What I like about this head is it has this little valve here that turns off the water. So what I do is I'm showering, I'll open it up, and then when the water gets hot, I'll close this instead of closing the tap, because I found out if you close the tap, it starts the process all over again, where it starts coming out cold and then hot. So by doing this and not closing the tap, it stays hot. To take a shower, I'll take this toilet out and then just have the whole area to shower in. This is one of the customizations that they did for me. They took out the cassette toilet. You can see there's the door for the cassette toilet because I had a Trillino composting toilet that I prefer to the cassette toilet. Garbage can in here. What I like about this garbage can is the little things. If I'm chopping vegetables, I can put it out here. So there's 3 different sizes you can have for the garbage can. And I have a huge closet in here. So it's so nice to keep all my cleaners and stuff like that in the rig. Because I used to keep a lot of that stuff in the truck, which was inconvenient. But this is so nice having it right here. And all of my toiletries. There's an exhaust fan and a skylight. That's my full-length mirror. I have lights that I put on the side for when I'm doing my makeup, but I don't keep them up there because they fall. So this is Command Central, my on-demand hot water heater, Dometic forced air propane heater. It's a dimmer and a light switch, my water pump, and my tank monitor. And down here is my battery monitor. Now at first I thought I was going to cover all this up, maybe put like a painting and like have it on a piano hinge, but I really don't mind having it all out here. I kind of like to be able to see it and not have to move stuff. So this is my cozy dinette area, which it's a pretty big table, but I really like the table. It makes a great workspace, and I can have a friend join me for dinner, and we're not like jockeying for where our water glass goes. This also folds down to a 6'3" bed, and it's super comfortable. There's the dog bowl down there. It's always hard to find a space for it in a small space. And I have a couple of dog steps that they need to get up into the bed. Also, there's a step here to the dinette. That is because the water tanks are right underneath there. Now, I don't really mind it. It means that the center of gravity is low and towards the front, which makes a huge difference with driving this rig. And I noticed it right away. My other truck camper was kind of tippy, but this one, because of the way they situated the weight, is so much easier to drive. I love these anything keepers. I have my glasses, keys in here, remote controls, earbuds. It's really nice because they tuck away and everything is accessible. All my cords. So under here, on the back of the dinette, is that outside compartment. So it's super nice that I'm able to just open it and get my winter coats or my shoes or whatever I will need in there. Under here is where all of my systems are, my batteries. It's pretty easy to get to. I love that it's in a centralized location. So here it is. My 2000 watt inverter, my solar charger, my DC to DC charger, that's the jack system, and I have 560 amp hours of Redodo batteries, and those have been working fabulous. I had them in my old camper and brought them over to this camper, and so far it's been great. Since I already have part of the dinette pulled apart, let me show you real quick how this changes into a bed. Remove my stuff. Now this is a tablecloth that I just put on there. The table is black, which isn't bad, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more color. White probably isn't the best color because it gets dirty. It's washable. So this is a Lagoon table, and I'm a big fan of Lagoon tables. 5'2", and I have a lot of space in here. These cushions are very comfortable. It's just as comfortable as the mattress. So there you go. Even Ron thinks it's comfy. Next, let me talk about storage, because storage is so critical in a space this small. It's really important to be organized, not only so you know where stuff is, but also because when you're driving, stuff shifts. I have these big, beautiful cabinets that are 8 feet long. As you can see, everything has a space, and all these containers have a purpose. So things don't shift around. So I've had vinegar bottles break and big bag of nuts fall out, flour blowouts, which are not pleasant at all. So by doing this, having these shelf inserts and all these little boxes, it keeps things in place while I'm going down the road. On this side is this massive storage area that is actually a bunk. It folds down, it holds up to 300 pounds, and there's an insert that goes over these openings. I will probably never use it as a bunk. I have all my cooking stuff up here, my plates, my dishes, pots, pans, Instapot, Vitamix, microwave, toaster oven slash air fryer slash convection oven. I put this tension curtain rod here to avoid things falling out while I'm driving. Plus, I don't have a drawer for utensils. This is what I use, and it's been working out pretty well, and it stays up there while I'm driving. The downside of having all this storage up here is that if I want to use the microwave or get anything down, oftentimes I have to open it. It depends on what it is. Like, I can access pots and pans, but if I want to take anything out that's bigger, I do have to open it. And I got it to a point where I can open it and nothing falls out. That is a big accomplishment. Very proud of that. One thing about living this lifestyle is it's very active. Just coming up here to get my Vitamix. I have to climb. Sometimes I feel like a monkey because I'm all over this place. Climbing into bed, climbing to get my pots and pans, but it's okay. I like staying active. Customization that I have done is the DC air conditioner. So they took my DC air conditioner from my old camper, which worked great, and put it in the new camper. Also, I have a Max air fan. One thing that is important for living with dogs is I have this dog blanket. It's by paws.com. I actually have 2 of them. It's waterproof, washable. I think this is great because in the beginning, I tried different blankets and sheets in order to cover up my comforter because it turns into a dog bed if they just have free reign of the bedding all day. So with this, it's comfortable enough where they sit on it, but they don't burrow underneath it. So it saves my whole bed from becoming a dog bed, which is super important when you're living with dogs. All these items that I'm talking about, I will link them in the video description if you're interested. My bed area is so comfy. It is a standard size queen bed. I have this webbing underneath here in order to keep the mattress off of the wood so it doesn't get moldy. It's a Lucid 5-inch mattress. In the bed area, there's 2 nightstands. Each of them have a USB port and also a 110 port with night lights. And all these lights up on the ceiling. There's no shortage of lights in this camper. And each side has a drawer, which has my underwear. Now, one thing about this camper is I can almost sit up. In my first camper, I thought that was imperative, that I was able to fully sit up on the bed. And I thought I would be claustrophobic, but actually I'm not. It's very cozy. So you live this lifestyle and you find out what works and what doesn't work for you. And turned out sitting up straight wasn't a big deal. Another thing I thought was imperative was a hang-in closet, which would be nice, but the downside of that is that you have a whole hanging closet from floor to ceiling in your rig, and it makes it seem smaller. This doesn't have a hanging closet, but I still have plenty of storage for all my clothes. Because I'm full-time, everything I own is in here. And how I made it to work is by using packing cubes. So up here, I have these 2 bins that I put the clothes for the season that I'm currently in, so they're easily accessible. And then everything else is in packing cubes. And I label them, so I'm not spending time opening every single one. And that has been working out pretty good for me. I also have another one on this side. And in here, I have my towels, dishcloths, sheets, extra blankets, that type of thing. This is one thing that really pulled me to this camper is their build quality just wowed me. Wowed me. Look at this. How thick that is and solid. I'm really, really enjoying this camper. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Come here, Lilo. Oh, Lilo. She's my Miss Curious because she's always getting stuck. Okay, guys, let's go in. These stairs are so much easier for my dogs to come up. Come on. Okay. Come on, Lilo. All right.